Hey everybody, so this is going to be a tutorial on using the BlendShape preset files with the BlendShape script. This is a custom script I made to make it easier to work with the BlendShapes, and which is why I call Mesh Morphing, as it's more popular of a term. But we use BlendShapes for that. BlendShapes is often used for animation, but it can also be used for other things like morphing meshes. So let's see, I'm going to reload the BlendShapes. Click on the reload BlendShapes button because they weren't showing up here. So if you have a new object, you can just do that. In fact, let me just do that from the beginning. Let's see, does it have a material on it? No, let's do the prefab. Prefab, plant monster. We'll move this over a little bit so we can see it better. And you'll notice if you click on any of the FBXs here that there's BlendShapes here, and they've got movement here when I adjust it, but it's really not user friendly. It's not pretty to look at. There's pluses and minuses that need to be adjusted, and then this BSM is a matched set, which means that this will change when something else changes. And so instead I wrote a script, and if you attach it, not new script, just add component SFB, and you find SFB BlendShapes right there. And then first thing to do is reload the BlendShapes. Now, oops, I did on the wrong thing. It'll take everything that is a child of the object as well. So in this case I messed up and just did flowers. So I'm going to remove this component here, go back to the plant monster, add the BlendShapes there, reload the BlendShapes. Now it's got any BlendShapes attached to this, which of course is not a skin mesh renderer, so there's nothing, and all of its children down here. So in each one of these you can adjust the BlendShapes. First thing, I'm going to click this turn off wireframe. For some reason it's supposed to happen, doesn't happen the first time, so just click it a couple times. That way you can really see the plant monster is still selected, but the wireframe is turned off for it. So now you can simply adjust these with the slider here, which is pretty nice. If it starts out at value of 0, it means that there's the ability to go bigger and smaller, or in essence there's two directions, two shapes that affect the same direction. The slider will want to go to 1 or -1, but either way it doesn't matter there. And then there's other things like the stock thickness. As the stock thickness is increased, match shapes, like we saw with the flowers up here, will also increase. If you look at the naming convention, the SFB is just the SFA Studios, BSM stands for BlendShape Match, Flowers is a name of a human readable name. The third one for BlendShape Matches doesn't matter. Instead, the fourth one does, Stock Thickness Plus. My script will basically attach this match shape to the stock thickness, which is right here. So anytime this changes in the script, the match shape will also change, which is pretty cool, because otherwise, as I change stock thickness, you would have to then change the flower shape to match and all that. So you don't need to do that, which is part of the wonderfulness of the script. So there you go. So it's very easy to change stuff there. Now there are some scripting instructions here. If you open up the script, the edit script, you'll see all the functions here, and I commented a bunch, not as much as I could probably, but if you call these functions here, set selected shape and the shape ID number. Shape ID number is listed right here, so 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Then you can actually set the values. So first call the shape and then set the new value. Set value UI is set for the value, and I believe there is a set value too. Set value UI is right here. And then there's also set value, where you can use this function, get the object ID, shape ID, blend shape ID, and the value. You can dig more deep into that if you want to use that directly instead, but it's easy, just say select shape and then select value, or set value, set selected shape and then set value. And then the preset files, these are a newer thing for this script, and it's pretty powerful. You can save prefabs if you want, and that's perfectly fine. So you can adjust you know, make something with bigger flowers and maybe the mouth bigger and longer. And then you can say, okay, I like this. I'm going to save this as a prefab. And if you do that, you're all set. No worries. But if you don't want to save a prefab and you instead just want to save the values, you can use this export values as preset function. So I'm going to call this demo1. And I'm just going to click, well, expand all these. And I'm going to click this button right there. And you'll notice in the project folder, there should be a new folder, if it doesn't exist already, called BlendShape preset files. It's going to add a number to the end, so I probably shouldn't have added demo1. So let me redo that. We'll just call this demo, and there we go. So demo0. That way, the file is just a bunch of numbers, but that way I can, you know, do one, and I'll make another one with small mouth and small flowers, and I'll not change the name, and I can have demo1, and it'll just keep going, so I can quickly create as many variations as I want. And then I can load these later, which I'll go over in a second. Now, all these check marks is you can exclude all and include all, and if you want, you can just save the flower size. So I can check just these two boxes and then export as a preset there, and I'm going to call this demo flower. Export that as a preset. Now if you click on that one, you notice all these asterisks. That means that those values won't be affected. So if I go back into my plant monster here, I just have to drag these into this field right here to load them into the character. There's a function that you can call in order to load these at runtime, but you can also do it here via the script. And then if you load the preset values, all the BlendShape presets will be adjusted. Now here we've got the small flowers. If I load the flower one, it only affects the flowers and not the rest. So it's a pretty cool function. You can do a lot with it. It should help out with runtime. Let's say you want to have a bunch of different looks for the monster. You don't want to do everything completely random. Maybe you can create like 10 or 15 different different shapes that you like, and you want just every time one spawned, you want it to be random. You can create a function that just randomly calls one of the integers in the preset files. If you load up 15 preset files and randomly call one on this function, then every time an enemy is spawned, it would be a different look. That's pretty cool. There's a lot you can do with it, and it's a pretty simple thing, and it's very lightweight. These are just text files, so they shouldn't really affect anything on in your game in the end. And then you won't have to have a bunch of prefabs as well. You can just use these. So let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.